Hey,
Oh my God. I don't know what goes on with this technical stuff sometimes.
well, I just realized when I went, what was it? I think I swiped up on a volume thing. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
tried to turn the volume on, then I thought maybe it was hooked up to my headphones upstairs, and then I was like, well, maybe it's hooked up to a different speaker.
Oh,
Like, oh my God. I'm
that's why
so sorry.
that's why I have emails and pen and paper. I'm not into like video and audio technology. I'm old school.
No, I totally get that. I appreciate it too. So definitely. Um,
Awesome.
Anyway, I wanted to get you on here because I like your acute knowledge and all of the little details that go into all of the natural cleaning stuff that I see you promote. And I thought you and I would be a great fit for one another. So,
Yeah,
ladies and
awesome.
gentlemen, this is Kathy from Crunchy Cleaning, or Crunchy Cleaning by Kathy, one or the other. I apologize if I've blundered that. See, she's got a logo shirt on that is awesome sauce.
Vista print.
And I appreciate, because I know that you had to get your boys to bed, and I have toddlers upstairs who are screaming right now. So I totally get that.
We won't be too long then.
No. So, what was the inspiration behind starting I want to say the encyclopedia behind Crunchy Cleaning with Kathy? I mean, I literally, you have thousands of posts and hundreds of videos.
I'm obsessed. I really like what I do. I was pregnant with my second son in 2012, and I already had my oldest son. He was a year and a half or something when I was pregnant. So, and the second pregnancy was a difficult pregnancy, just a lot of weird complications that ended up being fine, but it was very stressful. And my husband travels for a living, and it's just me raising a little one and pregnant. And I couldn't take the fumes anymore. I couldn't take the Lysol. It was intoxicating. It made me feel sick physically. And then I was already having complications. So anything I can do to try to help the pregnancy, I was in for it. So I just started, Googling, vinegar, and I just started reading about baking soda and rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide and all the studies and all the scientific research and all the my mom would tell me, well, what do you think your grandmother cleaned with? Vinegar, And I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? I mean, what did people do 100 years ago and 1,000 years ago? So I just started researching it, and little by little, I went to the dollar store and started buying bottles and just kind of making my own little concoctions. And my husband would walk in and say, it smells like the Olive Garden. But I'm like, I know, but at least I'm not inhaling all these toxic fumes. So little by little, I just started doing that throughout the pregnancy, and everything was fine. And one day I literally just threw out the Windex and I threw out all the stuff, and I researched ingredients, and I said, I can make my own version of Windex with rubbing alcohol and water and essential oils for scent. And it's just went from there. And then in 2015, after being a stay-at-home mom for several years, I wanted to get back out into the workforce, and I wanted to make my own money, but I needed child-friendly hours. So I said, I like to clean. My husband's like, Portuguese people, Portuguese woman cleaner. I'm like, okay, well, I might as well embrace it. And I put it out in the mom group about, eco cleaning. And it's actually a mom's group in Pennsylvania, like an moms of Pennsylvania type group. And that's actually the name of it. So I just came up with Crunchy Cleaning, because crunchy it has a connotation of like granola, hippie, eco, organic, natural. And I like the alliteration of it. So I just said Crunchy by Kathy, and I put it out there, and I had my first cleaning job the August 30th, 2015. And it just went from there.
That's awesome. You can pat yourself back. Not very many people have the success that you have had in a short amount of time.
I
everything for sure.
Thank you. And some products I make DIY, but throughout the years, I found products that I prefer to use as opposed to DIY, only because, especially because I have some commercial clients that I would prefer to have an SDS sheet. If anything were to happen, I would prefer to have a more commercial brand as opposed to a DIY. So I can use the DIYs for me or for some of my clients who like the DIY different scents. And then I also use some products that are eco-friendly that also have an SDS sheet should I ever need it. But because they're, you know, pretty safe and pH neutral, it's not like I'm going to damage anything anyway. So
No, but it's always good to have those sheets on hand because you never know when you're going to be audited from OSHA. I've had that happen myself. It's
yep.
such a pain in the butt. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
understand that behind the method behind OSHA, but oh my, once they get up there, they never leave you alone.
And there's so many products now that are, you know, I don't want to say jumping on the bandwagon, but people have just become more aware of alternative. And I hate saying alternative because this was what it was hundreds of years ago before the more harsher
Yes.
chemicals.
There's too many chemicals on the market, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they do serve a purpose as well. Don't get me wrong. You know,
Yeah.
you do need certain chemicals to fight off certain things. So I do
Yes.
get, but for everyday use, you don't need the bleaches every single day. You know,
No.
you do need certain amount of germs in your life anyway.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. You know, all the constant antibacterial sometimes is overkill. And there's studies that show that as well. So you need to find some kind of balance. And that's why, at least for me and a lot of my clients who understand that, realize that for everyday cleaning and maintaining and disinfecting, you can go down that eco route. You know, it may need a little bit more scrubbing power as opposed to just spraying and walking away. But to me, I would rather scrub a little bit more and know that I can be all up in there and not leave hacking out a lung.
Yeah,
You know,
no doubt.
and, you know, to me, that's worth. It's worth it. It's worth it to me that my clients' pets, my clients' kids can walk by and just smell whatever floral, citrus, pretty scent, and know that it's cleaning and disinfecting, and it's not, you know, you don't have to open up the windows and air it out. So to me, that's important to me.
That is important. I've actually run into other cleaners through my travels because I've been in business over a decade, and I've seen people get chemical pneumonia from using bleach the wrong way, or even using, I don't want to name the name, but that spray shower cleaner that you're supposed to spray on after you shower. It's people don't realize what they're actually dealing with and what they're inhaling with all of the, because the heat, as you know, makes it travel more and you ingest it more, because in past times, like the Romans, for example, with the steam baths, you inhaled certain essential oils to make you feel better. So it would make sense that a chemical would do the same venture.
The
So
opposite.
yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. And I don't want to risk it. I'm, you know, I like I said, I started it because I was pregnant and I wanted a better option. And I'm like, well, why am I going to go backwards? Like, to me, I'm not going to go back to something that is going to harm me in the long run. And like you said, there's so many, if you're in these cleaning groups, you hear these nightmare stories.
Oh my gosh.
Of the irritation of the skin, of, you know, animals licking it, and then they become sick. And then it's just, and not just that, harming or damaging surfaces, you know. But even with a vinegar, or, well, really more vinegar because it's acidic, even with vinegar, you still need to know what you're doing. Just because it's not doesn't mean it can't ruin a surface either, you know. So you still,
vinegar's not good for wood. Neither is vodka.
yeah, right. And natural stone too. Natural stone like marble, quartz, and granite stay away from vinegar because the acid can eat away at the finish.
Yes.
So even with something like that, you still need to be knowledgeable, or at least research and study how to properly use it, how to properly dilute it. So that's why I'm constantly, like, when I put videos or I tell people, I say you can use it, but not on certain surfaces. And if you're going to at least dilute it a lot, and I just wouldn't even risk it. So it is great for grease, hard soap buildup. It's fantastic, but just not on certain surfaces. So I think there's also a misconception that natural means 100% safe. No, you still need to know how to properly use it too.
Yeah, I agree.
That can have a reaction, you know, so.
Definitely. And then I was actually looking, so you had mentioned that this was kind of a I don't want to say playbook, but it was kind of a learn as you go because you were pregnant and it was more of a safer alternative. And did you ever have any background in chemistry or anything, or you just kind of educated yourself? The nerdy part of you came out and you just kind of worked it around. And I don't want to call you, I hope you're not offended by me calling you nerdy, but I just,
no,
I totally appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we're all into books. I mean, we're just like, we're total geeky reading people. No, I majored in broadcasting with a minor in English. And
Okay.
I just started researching. I bought books. I checked out websites. I still do. I read ingredients. There's websites that I always check out. The EWG website, Environmental Working Group, Green Business Network has really good information. You could just Google ingredients for the SDS sheets. There's another one. I actually have the website open because I was reading something about it. NCBI. It's a government website. It's a National Center for Biotechnology Information. And they have,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I have it bookmarked on my computer because that's how much I use it. But they have like thousands of medical, it's a library of scientific and medical reports from around the world about.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'll send you the link, about anything regarding science with, oils, essential oils, health, studies on, it's very scientific based. So if you want to research vinegar, type in vinegar in the search and you'll have hundreds of articles talking about the health benefits of vinegar, the cleaning properties of vinegar, like lemon oil. You'll get good and bad studies, whatever, it'll say there was a study in 1974 conducted blah, 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 and this is what they came up with. Then there was a study in 2019. I mean, it's thousands. So I find it fascinating because if you just want to research hydrogen peroxide and you put it in there, all this stuff. So it's like a library. It's literally a medical library on the internet.
Sometimes I think as cleaners too, you almost have to have a knowledge-based degree on chemical knowledge and pH balances and everything else. If you don't have that knowledge, it could really hinder your business in the long run. Yeah. So I think those are a great resource. That's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't major in it, but I also believe that if you really enjoy something, you're gonna find the way to learn it somehow.
Yeah.
Whether it's school or online, it's like an online course almost. And then with your own physical doing, with your own research and playing around with things, you learn it as well as you go.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. And then I forget how many videos you had. I was checking out your YouTube channel. It's close to, I think you have over 100. And my goodness, I mean, I can imagine the hours and the dedication behind making that many videos. Oh my goodness. Bless you. I am not worthy.
There's more I want to do. I was looking at it the other day going, I haven't put a video up in 5 days. My kids, their homework and I'm working. I'm like, I haven't. So it's like, I want to do more reviews of the products I use, like vacuum cleaners and mops and just all
very
that
cool
stuff.
So tell the audience what your YouTube channel is so that they can actually go and subscribe to it.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's youtube.com Crunchy Cleaning by Kathy. And, so can I say I'm in the Poconos or where I'm at or anything?
Yeah, of course, totally.
In Poconos, southern tip of Poconos, I guess. In this area. Close to the Jersey border. I'm originally from Jersey. And I have almost 4.5 years in business, and I've been voted 3 times best made by our local newspaper, the Pocono Record. So that's really exciting.
That's awesome. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I mean, I'm grateful, and kudos to everybody that was in it, or first place, second place, whatever. But yeah, so I'm proud about that. And then my business, Green Certified by Green Business Network, Green America. It's a nonprofit organization that networks and communicates with other green businesses around the country. And I think they may be globally, but I know that they have a version of Green America. So they have a website and they have lots of articles about there, and they talk about other green businesses, not just cleaning, any kind, whether it's organic food or hemp clothing or whatever. And they share a lot of articles about what.
And it's called Green what?
Green Business Network or Green
Business Network. Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's green.
familiar a little bit with the LEED certification and what's involved in that, because we actually have a college here that
Oh, wow.
is certified in it, and they had to go through this 5-year stewardship program, and how you couldn't put certain chemicals down the drain because they were qualifying for their gold level of LEED certification. So yeah, I totally understand all of that stuff.
Yeah, I would love to find. Maybe maybe I'll go back and check out because I have a bachelor's, like I said, but I may want to just see some online courses just for biology or science, just to kind of
It's
learn
really
more.
fascinating when you figure out what goes where and how it fits into all the cogs. Definitely.
And I'm naturally, I since a little kid, we love nature and hiking and the outdoors, so it all fits into my ethos about the environment,
Mhm.
and cleaning the air inside our home, but outside as well, because the hazards of the fumes going into the atmosphere and all that. So it really plays into my thing about it. That's why I think I'm so passionate about it. So, and I also have a Facebook group called Pocono Family Hikers. So we share a lot of hiking, outdoor Pocono stuff. So I like to have that as well, but I don't put any cleaning stuff on that. I just like to have that as a type of thing as well.
So one of the things I see a lot on some of the groups that we're both in is the people just pour arbitrarily chemicals down. Like, for example, here in Arizona, we don't have plumbing all over because we're mostly a dry climate. So people have septics, and I constantly am having to remind people that you just can't arbitrarily pour chemicals down the drain. You have to ask if they're on septic. You could hurt yourself. You could hurt the septic chemical imbalance and the bacteria inside the septic.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's a lot of knowledge base sometimes when they're new at cleaning. They're just pouring, like, for example, I had someone want to clean tile in a bathroom and they wanted to put oven cleaner. I'm like, the pH balance is different for metal versus porcelain. So,
Crazy. I hear like toilet bowl cleaner on tile,
yeah,
or
I've seen
oven
that
cleaner.
too.
Yeah, do easy off down a drain. I'm like, what? There's it's mind-boggling because at one time I even told somebody, do you realize that if you mess up their pipes or the counter, that your insurance won't even cover that?
No.
Because you're using oven cleaner, not on an oven. And I don't even use oven cleaner. I'll use like vinegar or pumice stones or thieves cleaner or like baking soda to really scrub it out and clean it. I don't like easy off. The fumes are just, I don't, if it takes me 15 minutes as opposed to 5 seconds, well, that's fine. At least I can walk in and out and not have to be coughing up a lung. But when I see stories about they're just arbitrarily, and then afterwards they'll post pictures of, oops, what can I do to fix it? You can't fix something you kind of broke. I don't know. I don't think you can clean what you bleached. You know what I mean? Like, bleach removes the color. You can't fix it. It's
bleach. I've had this conversation with lots of people. Bleach is an actual disinfectant. It's not a cleaner. It's not a cleaner. It's very harmful to you. It's harmful to every surface it sits on. It's just a disinfectant to kill germs. That's all it is. And I don't even like to use it. So crazy.
We have some vacation homes here in the Poconos. A lot of, log cabin, wood, people go on vacation and then they come up for skiing or whatever. So the toilets will just sit there for months without being used. And then they're septic system. So you can't put bleach down there because you can't kill off the good bacteria that they need down there. So whenever I start communicating with a potential client, those are questions that I like to ask, like, relatively how old's the home or how many bathrooms, or once I see it, I can kind of get a gist of whether it is septic or not. But I'm always going to ask those questions, like, what is your counter surface like? What type of floors do you have? Because I want to have an idea of what I'm dealing with, even though even though the things I use are not going to ruin it, I still want to know what I can use on that floor just to make sure. So yeah, you can't just go into it blindly like, oh, cleaning is easy. You kind of have to know what you're doing though too.
There's a lot of I hate to say this, but we're considered the 23rd trade, and at least I feel that we are. And there's a lot of knowledge base that has to happen for you to be safe for yourself and for others. And I've seen a lot of people, because the industry is growing a lot, doing stuff that they don't or maybe they're not comfortable and they're just kind of doing it on a whim. And I think that getting that knowledge base, like for example, all the videos you do, and learning how and what that chemical and or topical thing that you're using will benefit yourself and the house that you're cleaning. It's unfortunate, and we have both seen it a lot, where they do make a mistake and there's no way of fixing it, unfortunately. I've seen all kinds of really interesting things, and I'm like, ugh, gosh, I'm really sorry. But clean that way, so, you know.
Yeah, and some things can't be clean. Some things need to be replaced. Like, I was reading about, and I just shared it, and I've shared it several times. I'll go over and see like what I shared a few months ago and kind of reshare it again, kind of just as a refresher type thing. Like, for example, with like black mold that grows around a tub, the caulking of the tub, you can spray superficially hydrogen peroxide, you could spray vinegar, you could spray bleach. That's a superficial clean. But if you're not getting proper ventilation, it's going to come back again. And then if the mold gets into behind the caulking, or actually into like the in between the tile, and it actually gets inside, there's no amount of cleaning inside that you can do. You have to literally remove the caulking, clean it, dry it out, and then re-caulk it, and then you still have to have proper ventilation. So re-caulking is not my thing. Like, I'll do my own tub, but I'm not a plumber. I'm not, my insurance cover that, and I'm not going to re-caulk anyone's tub. But I've told clients when I've seen it like that, I can clean it superficially, but if it's in it, it's going to keep coming back, and that's above my pay grade. So some things cannot be cleaned. They need to be removed. And with that, you have to educate clients so that they don't think you're not cleaning. You know what I mean? Because I don't want someone to think, well, she didn't clean it, it's still there. No, I did. But again, it needs to be completely removed. Do you know? So like, a lot of things you have to educate people if they don't know, so that they don't think that you're not doing your job either, you know?
Yeah. No, I concur. Definitely.
And if I don't know, then I'm going to go to Dr. Google or ask other and say, listen, based on this picture, what do you think we can do to try to fix this? And if it can't be fixed, if it needs to go with a plumber or whoever, then I'll tell that to my client. That's not something that can be cleaned. It needs to be actually redone. So some situations you have to refer to somebody else.
Definitely. Now, I know that you talk a lot about carbon footprints and leaving less of a carbon footprint versus what regular chemicals do. Is there any tips that you can give someone who's new on leaving less of a carbon footprint versus what everyone, like regular cleaners who use regular chemicals?
Even not even just chemical related, but things with like cleaning windows with kitchen paper towels, and then you just throw them in the trash. There are fantastic cleaning or glass cloths that it's not the same type of texture as a microfiber cloth. You know what I mean? It's a smoother texture that's made specifically for glass and windows. Oh my God, you can buy great ones at the car wash because they're buffing out cars all the time. Target sells a great bunch of them. Microfiber Warehouse, Microfiber, or directmopsales.com. So there's local, or not just local, but websites too that sell glass and mirror cloths. Buy those. It will save you so much money. Get like
thousands of dollars.
You wash them, they don't leave streaks, and you're not constantly buying kitchen paper towel and throw it out. So that's one big thing with a carbon footprint, because you're not just constantly cutting down trees, making kitchen paper towels and throwing it. That's another thing that we do at home. Instead of kitchen paper towels, we use cloth towels. You can just buy them at the dollar store and just, for cleaning your mouth and your hands and cleaning the house. I'm really big on that because that's a really big way to have a zero waste or minimal waste in your business. So not in regards to liquids, you can also do it with cloths too. But in regards to liquids, when it comes to cleaning, I'm a big advocate for buying in concentrate, because then with that bottle of concentrate, you can then make 30 or 50 or however X amount of bottles from the concentrate. That's
a really good idea.
Yeah, as opposed to buying already a pre-mixed bottle of Mrs. So-and-so cleaner, which is $4, and then you have to buy it, and then buy it again, and then buy it again. And then, so you're constantly throwing out that plastic bottle, constantly going back to Target every week or 2 weeks to buy another $4 bottle. where you can just buy a concentrated version of whatever and then make your bottles, just refill as you go. So that really cuts down on single-use plastic as well. And a couple other things. Oh, I like to try to stay close within a 15-20 mile radius just for my time schedule with my kids. But that's just me with my whole carbon footprint aspect of not driving. I don't want to drive an hour and a half if I don't have to.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. And then just recently, I shared this too on my page. I'm so excited I found it. I'm a big advocate on shoe slip covers. And instead of, I used to always buy the ones that you would throw away, like you see like doctors or slip them on your, I found washable ones, machine washable, in a 5-pack off of Amazon. And
oh,
they
yes,
fit,
I did see those.
yeah, and they're non-slip resistant. The bottom has like the little dots or whatever you want to call them. You don't slip. And I've tested it out. I'm like, nope, you don't slip. And I stick them over my sneaker, and then I put them in the washing machine. And I'm like, that's another thing that I don't have to throw out. So little
Now,
things.
do you wear those in every house or just certain houses?
I put on a fresh new, well, not for my commercial clients because they have regular foot traffic. It's not like you have to take off a shoe, to go into an office. It's for my residential clients. I bring a fresh pair for everyone. Yeah.
That's
so if
awesome.
I have for the day, I only bring one pair. If I have 2 homes for that day, I bring 2 pairs, and then I bring them home and I wash them with my cloths.
Very cool.
It's just another thing. And I love that I don't have to constantly throw out, the old pair and I don't want to bring in dirt from the outdoors, and I don't want to be barefoot because I need, arch support, and I don't want a nail, stepping on a nail or dropping a book on my shoe.
Ooh,
so
yeah, no, not fun.
I'm not just cleaning your home. I also need to take care of myself too. So I'm a big advocate on shoe slip covers.
Very cool. Are there any other suggestions for lessening the carbon footprint?
Say it again, or what?
Are there any other suggestions for lessening your carbon footprint for newbies?
Oh gosh, I'm sure there are. Well, aluminum bottles, water, and Brita filter. Refill your water with that. So like that, you're not always using single use plastic. I'm sure there are. I can't think of, but those are my big ones right off the bat. Especially when it comes to paper towels. With wiping.
Cool.
Because and even for cleaning around toilets, like you can use microfiber cloths or even cotton cloths, and white. I like to use white ones because I will bleach them. That's the one thing that I will use bleach on for my lawn, because I want to make sure I'm sanitizing and disinfecting my cloths. So
that's important, definitely.
Yeah, you kind of have to pick and choose your battles when it comes to certain things, and when it comes to disinfecting, I will use detergents that I know are going to do a much deeper job in disinfecting the cloths.
Now, do you ever take, for example, I know you had mentioned white cloths that you bleach. Do you ever go to yard sales and cut them up into sections of 8 and do it that way? Or do you buy tailored, pre-done towels?
Oh, no, you can get the dollar store has really good for just cotton ones, just for the toilet area. And then I'll buy the fiber ones for more dusting and for kitchen counters off of either direct mop sales or microfiber wholesale, or get some really good microfiber cloths off of car wash, the car wash shops in there too, because they're like I said, they're always buffing, and then I like to get the window and glass as well too. So there's different cloths for different things, like different textures. So, and then I also like to have certain color coordinated, like blues and greens can be for kitchen counters, and then whites are for the bathroom. So I'm pretty
important for sanitation. People don't realize, because then the white doesn't touch any other part because you use it on the toilet and you just know.
Oh, another thing that I really like that really kind of helps lessen the carbon footprint. When I first started, I would just bring trash bags with me to then put the wet cloths in to then bring home to wash. But when you put something that's damp or wet, then the bag starts getting all wet and sticky and disgusting, and then you just throw out the bag because you're not going to reuse a wet Target bag with God knows what is in there. Wet bags. Wet bags are made for cloth diapers, and they have that pull inside the polyurethane lining that's specifically made to keep the moisture inside. You get these really big wet bags, and they have a zipper off of Amazon, and that's what I cloths in there, and then that goes in the washing machine and gets disinfected.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool.
I have that on my thing too as well. So that's something I'm a big advocate for cleaners to carry that too. If you need to carry your dirty cloths in something, get wet bags.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, I know that we're not going to talk about any of the business details, but I'm curious on average, you've been doing this a while, and it's just you that's out there cleaning, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So on average, how many homes are you doing a week? Is it like 15 homes? Some weeks are different than others.
Every week it changes because I have weeklies, I have bi-weeklies, and then I have monthlies. So I have 3 weeklies and then a couple bi-weeklies and then a couple monthlies. So anywhere between 1 to 2 a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Because then I have some commercial. So like, for example,
that's a full schedule.
Yeah, today I did 1, tomorrow I'll do 1, the next day I'll do 2. I try not to do more than 2 a day, only because I need to be done by a certain time so that I can then, take care of my family and whatnot. So, and I find that I don't want to burn myself out.
No.
Sometimes I hear stories of cleaners doing like 4 by themselves in one day. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
I don't know. I've seen girls do that too, where they're working 7 days a week because of whatever reason. I'm like, why? Like,
yeah.
You're going to burn yourself out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really demanding job. People don't really, when clean at home, you can stop, watch TV, get a drink. I'll take 5 hours to do something I can do in 2 hours. Because, you relax, you check the email, I got to finish washing the dishes. And then, I never finished that mirror. It's so different when you're at home. When you're in business, I'm there to work. I have my apron on. I want all my tools handy, so I'm not constantly walking back and forth. I have a certain routine: up, down, left, right, back to front, mop my way out. Like, there's a certain way that I do it that I can speed up the process.
Definitely.
But I'm also human too. So if I mess up, I need to catch myself. And I find that if I'm working 6, 7, 8 hours, mentally, you're going to slip, right? I mean, I can't imagine hours of scrubbing and up and down and you're back, and then you're hungry, and then you got to eat. And it's easy to like lose track of what you're doing. And I don't want to put myself in that situation if I can avoid it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Mm-hmm. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. I know we were having technical difficulties, so as soon as this actually loads up, and I'll give it, I can just give you the unedited version, or you can wait for the edited version. It's entirely up to you. And then,
whichever, that's fine. I think I managed to, I don't know, I'm going to see how it turned out. I think I managed to record it on my phone, but if you have it edited, that's even better. Whichever one.
Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you. And this, give it about a week, and it should be right up on cleanfreaksuniversity.com.
Thank you. I'm going to share. I'm so excited. Thank you.